Today, we're going to deconstruct a true titan of the trading world, a guy who's been in the game for over 60 years and set a record that to this day has never been broken. We're talking about the legendary Larry Williams.
Just look at that number, 11,300%. That is not a typo. That's the return he pulled off in a single year at the World Cup Trading Championship. He took 10 grand and turned it into more than $1.1 million. I mean, that record has stood for decades for a reason. It's the stuff of legends.
And what does the man himself say? He says the main reason traders fail is pretty simple. They just don't have the right knowledge. So in this explainer, let's get that knowledge straight from the source.
All right, first up, let's really dig into that unbelievable record. Because what makes it so mind-blowing isn't just the number, it's when he did it. This was 1987, the year of a massive historic market crash, a time when most traders were getting absolutely annihilated.
I mean, the performance was so off the charts that the US government actually had to audit him just to make sure it was real. And get this, to achieve it, he was risking nearly 30% of his account on every single trade. Think about the guts that takes. At one point, that account was actually over $2 million before the crash knocked it back down. This wasn't just trading. This was pure, high-octane conviction.
So, the big question is, how on earth did he do it? Well, it all starts with a completely radical shift in mindset. A foundation that is the polar opposite of what most of us are ever taught about trading.
And this table just nails his core philosophy. See, most traders are glued to what he calls chicken scratches, the squiggly lines and patterns on a chart. But for Williams, that's just a history book. It's where the market has been. He focuses on the underlying conditions, the real deal supply and demand, the raw human panic and greed that will actually cause the market to move next. It's about looking forward, not just staring in the rearview mirror.
And here it is in his own words. Charts are just the emotional residue of the day. So the key takeaway here is huge. To predict where the market is going, you got to understand the fundamental reasons why it's going to move, not just retrace the steps it's already taken.
Okay, so if it's all about conditions, how does he actually read them? Well, this brings us to one of his secret weapons, a tool that gives him an almost unfair advantage, like having an insider's view of the entire market.
So what exactly are these powerful conditions he's always talking about? Let's break down where he gets his primary intelligence from. He uses something called the Commitment of Traders Report, or the COT report. Now, this report breaks the market down into three main groups. You've got the small traders, that's basically us, the public. Then you have the big funds, who are usually just following the trend. And then you have the commercials. These are the producers and the users, the airlines buying oil, the farmers selling corn. Williams calls them the ultimate insiders.
And here it is. This is his contrarian secret. While everybody else is trying to chase what the big funds are doing, Williams does the exact opposite. He sides with the commercials. Think about it. These insiders are often buying when the market is tanking because it helps their actual, real-world business. They're stocking up when everyone else is panicking. That is the ultimate contrarian signal.
He also layers on another metric called open interest. It's pretty simple. It's just the total number of active contracts in a market. Now, why does he care? Because if he sees a massive spike in open interest, and he knows it's being driven by the small traders, the public, that's a huge alarm bell for him. It tells him the trade is getting way too crowded, and it's probably about to reverse.
Now, this isn't just some abstract theory. Williams has turned all this analysis into a systematic, repeatable process that he runs like clockwork. Let's take a look at how he puts it all together, week in and week out.
Every single Saturday morning is what he calls his market hunt. First, he scans all the markets for the right conditions. Then, he makes a shopping list of potential trades. It's only then, in step 3, that he even looks at a chart, not to predict, but to time a potential entry. And once those deep conditions and the chart's trend finally line up, boom, he executes. It's methodical, it's patient, and there's no emotion involved.
And this quote just perfectly sums up his mindset. He's an opportunist. He's not married to gold or stocks or soybeans. He couldn't care less. He goes where the setup is, period.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the inner game. Because you can have the best system in the world, but to do this for over 60 years, that requires a very specific kind of mindset. It's a game of psychology, of risk, and of incredible resilience.
Now this is where Williams really flips conventional wisdom on its head. Most traders are obsessed with having a high win rate, but he shows how the most profitable traders in the world often lose more trades than they win. The whole game is about taking a bunch of small controlled losses while you wait for those few monster wins that make your entire year.
So what about risk? Forget the 1% rule you always hear about. Now, while he famously risked way more to set his record, Williams suggests that for most traders, 4% is a really good sweet spot for risk on any one trade. It's enough to actually make a difference in your account, but not so much that a bad streak will knock you out of the game.
So, when you boil it all down, surviving this long in the markets comes down to this incredible mix of traits. You need the humility to admit when you're wrong, you need the stress tolerance to handle the insane emotional swings, you need the confidence to know you can come back from a drawdown, and you need the patience of a hunter, just waiting for that one perfect shot.
And we'll end with this piece of advice from his father, which really says it all, doesn't it? Whether it's trading or just life in general, the rewards you get are a direct result of the work you put in. For Larry Williams, a 60-year career and an 11,000% return, well, that's a testament to what he put in. The real question is, what will you?